turned and said to me, Phil, my great uncle, or great uncle, is buried over there, and we had a wee bit of a discussion. I was in the hot tub at the time, so she disturbed me. But besides that, what we done is, and she turned and said to me that he died at the front line. And I looked at the cemetery, and this was only the early stages of researching, and I says, Gillian, that's a clearance station. My first impression, and it was only my first impression before I'd done any research, I says, he's been a casualty, he's been took back there, and he's been reburied. Sorry, he's been buried in that cemetery. And Gillian, was it your aunt or great aunt?
My granny.
Your granny told her the story that no, he was deafening. And then what I done was I done the research. So on that day, the boys in the 22nd of December 1915, it says in the war diary that there was 1 soldier killed and 4 wounded. And her great uncle was that soldier that was killed, unfortunately. So we've done why he is buried so far behind the line is only down to the burial officer. That's being totally honest with you. I don't have the answers. I couldn't tell Gillian, this is the reason why. The burial officer actually says that we'll bury him, and the cemetery was chosen. Where his field grave was beside a wood. So he was buried behind the line in a field grave at Markethill. Markethill would be attacked on the 1st of July by the 5th Army. Yep. They'll be attacking there. Ironically, that, and this is what I haven't said to you yet, is that had he survived, he would have been fighting on the right-hand flank of the 36th Ulster Division, attacking the Fife sector. Wow. Had he survived, but if, all small words, but really, isn't it, it's poignant, he would have became a member in March, well, till February 1918, a member of the 36th Ulster Division. Yeah. So that's where we are at this minute in time. So what we're going to do, there might be a few more surprises on the way, but we're actually going to go to the location roughly, because Gillian, you said to me you would love to put a poppy cross somewhere near the location of where he's buried. Yep. And your son's one of the drummers?
Yes.
Yeah. So he has. So this is a real connection that you have. Yep. So all I can do at this stage, we're so far from the graveyard, we can't.
No, absolutely not.
We no mean, as much as I would love to do that,
Too far out of the way.
no mean, we can't do that. But what we're going to do is take you to the approximate location of where he was buried when he fell, and he'd be exhumed and then took back to Cerisy. Yep. I'm sure we can do better than that, Joel. Of the Royal Enniskillen Fusiliers, which was part of the 5th Brigade, which was part of the 5th Army. Later on, as I said, had it came to the Battle of the Somme, he was fighting on the flank of the 36th Ulster Division. Army, which was the new army, which the 36th Ulster Division was part of, and then what you had all the way down to a little river called the Somme River, you had the 5th Army. Why the Somme was picked was quite simple. The French were fighting a battle which was called Verdun, and the French were under massive massive pressure, and the French army, believe it or not, was actually at breaking point. So a decision had to be made by the British Army to make an attack to relieve the pressure of the French and to keep the French army in the Great War. The Somme was picked. A lot of people says it was the wrong location. Yeah, it definitely was the wrong location, because in the British Army's history it was one of the most bloodiest battles and casualties that the British Army would ever encounter. Stuff like that. Ypres and all was considered, but what the British Army wanted was good countryside to attack, so that's why the Somme front was chosen. And what the British Army thought was, we'll put all our artillery into the Germans' front line that no one could survive. Little did they know that the Germans were always on the high ground. And what the Germans done, they lived in good conditions, because what they done was they dug under the front line. At times they had tunnels, and I don't mean mining tunnels, and what they had was sleeping conditions as well. So when the bombardment was happening, most of the German army was underground. The British Army thought that no one could survive that. Little did they know that the German army was underground. All the way from the North Sea, all the way to the Swiss Alps. And people ask me, Phil, how would you describe it? It's quite simple. If you think of one line of trenches, and I did go zigzag, and I went across here and I went across there, but if there was a natural barrier such as a river would be an example, it stopped, and at the other side of the river it continued. So the way to look at it is, it was one continuous trench all the way from the North Sea to the Swiss Alps. But obviously we know that there's different terrains where the trenches stopped and restarted again, but that's the best way of describing the Western Front. This in place of Samuel Cunningham of the 2nd Battalion of the Enniskillen Fusiliers. He unfortunately passed away on the 22nd of December 1915 at the young age of 19. He actually was killed at Markethill, and beside him is the people that was in the field grave. So these were interned back into the cemetery. Why the cemetery was picked, I don't have the answers. I don't. Only the officer who was at the time would be able to tell you why. And it was back in 1924, 1925 that decided to bury the guys here. We'll have his family who are here, and Gillian said to me, where's the best place to put a cross? It's always on a soldier's grave. And for him to be still with a cross, actually when they came across the graves, the crosses were actually still on the graves, which is extraordinary because it was so close to the front line. Why it was not blown off, destroyed, Gillian? It's like many others, he would have probably been on Tifa Memorial to the missing. But you are the second family member to come here, and as I says, you should be very, very proud of your family history. So what we're going to do is a wee act of remembrance. I'm going to call for a minute's silence, and after that I'm going to call the fluter to play. On behalf of Samuel Cunningham and all the soldiers that give the ultimate sacrifice for the freedom that we have today, I call for a minute's silence. Regimental fluter. They shall not grow old, that we who are left grow old. Age shall not bury them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Thank you.
Cemetery now, and that lady in the white standing, right, if you have a look, right, on the headstones, right, they were North African troops, probably French Moroccan, right, because they were, we'll talk about them as later on, but as you see, right, you see the different commemorations to them. I would imagine they're French Moroccans, because they were a big part of the French army in them days. So anyway, the thing about the cemeteries, as we spoke about it on the bus, they're laid out perfectly. Now the French obviously look after their own, right? The British, right, the Commonwealth Graves Commission look after that one there. But if you take a wee walk here, just wherever you want, anywhere you stand, right, no matter where you're at an angle, where your face on, a cross like that, every single one of them crosses is in a row. It's the exact spacing, it's the same everywhere around this cemetery. And when you go up here in the British cemetery, you'll see the headstones. And not them all, because there was a lot of them just maybe were killed at that particular spot, and maybe 3, 4, 5 graves together, but the majority, the spacings there, the passageways, everything pertaining to what Fabian were wanted. So anybody is like, that over there, obviously, that's their cross of sacrifice. Right? So obviously we spoke on our bus about the cross, he's going the other way. We come down here. So it was just down here in the British. As you can see, as they're walking along, you can see the headstones, and from the job, and as you see the vans down there, you see the gentlemen attending the floral, etc., etc. And when we go in there shouldn't be anything in front of their grave, but some of them are going to or something on it. And if you're looking for a loved one to lay the rest there, you have to put bushes away and things like that. You know, it's not a good thing to do. So that's why I have to stipulate it. But wait, before we go in, there's the cross of sacrifice. That's in every single cemetery, as I said. That's in every single cemetery in France and Belgium. Right? They see the ones that was in my bus. What did we talk about that's missing here?
Altar.
The altar. And for the people that weren't there, the altar stays exactly the same as it was designed, but there must be up to 1,000 and over headstones in the cemetery. And the altar stays like that. The altar it's a place for worship, but they didn't want to make it Christian, they didn't want to make it Muslim. It was just for all faiths, and that's the way it is today. But that sacrificial cross never thing. So we'll go into the cemetery anyway. The sad thing about this is we've come in here right away, right, and 1st of July 1916. That one here says, "At the river's crystal brink, Christ shall join each broken link." 1st of July 1916. There. Now, that there, as we spoke about it, this here, that had to be passed, because that's a personal family message. That had to be passed through the Commonwealth Graves Commission. And as I told you, if it had been Rudyard Kipling, he would have passed and said, yeah, that's okay. But if we look, all these inscriptions, right, for instance, we're over here, a soldier of the Great War, so he's unknown. Right, that has to be, that's down, that's solid. So it is. The other thing we'll see when we go over this here, right, the cross, the altar, their name liveth forevermore. That's in stone, that's in every single one of them. And that's why the Commonwealth Graves, these lads behind you here, right, then you have your stonemasons, then you have everybody, but it's a whole year-round thing, and they'll go from cemeteries like this into massive memorials. When we go up the Thiefel, when we go up the Manning Gate, you'll see it, because at the minute the Manning Gate, it's getting all refurbished, so it is. But thank God now it's not stopping the bonds, been able to go up and back again. But that's a continual thing, and as I said on the bus, you have the Canadian Memorial at Vimy Ridge. I think it was 3 years ago it was covered in scaffolding. A couple of years ago we were over by Balnahinch, and People Memorial there was under scaffolding. Actually, Balnahinch couldn't play at it because it was completely covered, so they had to go the cemetery that I was telling you about at the rear of the People Memorial there missing. So we just take a wee walk around, just have a wee wander around and just look at it and see.